Welcome to Azerbaijan. I'm very glad to see you all. Thank you for being with us. I think that Baku Global Forum has its unique place on the world map. In this room today, we have an outstanding intellectual potential, which actually is a reflection of the importance of the forum.
I think that the Baku Forum, during the last 7 editions, has gained importance and now has a really almost irreplaceable role of bringing together people from different geographical areas.
It's a meeting place between the Orient and the West, between the North and the South. It's a meeting place between great powers, in fact.
Heads of state, former heads of state, people involved with the UN, people engaged in the most important issues facing our world today.
This year, we have a topic that is particularly appropriate to the way the tectonic plates of the planet are shifting.
The theme chosen for the conference, the new foreign policy, I think there is nothing more appropriate in the current international environment than to be discussing precisely the new foreign policy.
Moving from foreign policy to partner policy is a different conceptual journey that needs to be undertaken by today's statesmen and women.
I think we went through a very intense period over the last 15-20 years, from a bipolar situation to a monopolar, unipolar situation with the American domination, then a kind of multipolar situation. And now it gives the impression that we are living in a world without any poles, a kind of chaotic situation. And so we have to, starting from that reality, we have to build up new principles for a new foreign policy, and so to have this as a central item of discussion is an excellent choice.
The United States remains the single largest and most powerful country in the world, but it has to learn to live in a world of other great powers in a way that it has not for a long time. That is the challenge for America. The challenge for the world is to find some way to solve problems, manage processes, achieve stability without a single superpower, without a dominant hegemon.
What is the characteristic of the temporary political scene in the world? There is a lack of the leaders. So we don't have leaders with the long-term visions. There is a lack of the clear international ideology. What is important these days around the world?
When we're talking about a new foreign policy, I think we're talking about going away from nationalist perspectives on what self-interest is towards mutually collaborative frameworks for cooperation. In other words, a new foreign policy has to be a foreign policy of partnership, of agreement, of compromise.
If we are ignoring differences between cultures, differences between, in terms of the economic development, reality in which we are living, we cannot be very serious in preventing problems that are coming. We are facing with the challenges. I admire what China achieved. I really admire it. This is fantastic contribution to the new epoch. But at the same time, every country which is achieving a lot is facing with oscillations. This is a very important question, whether China is going to keep the role of the soft power in the future.
So even in future, China will becoming stronger and stronger. I think we don't want to dominate anything. We will play the active and the constructive role to the world development and also help to strengthen the international order and the world peace and statement.
During the panel, people speaking for almost all parts of the world including China. And that was a bit like what you will have in Munich at the conference of Munich for Security, the security conference, when you have people having very different views at the same panel. And now it's not protocol anymore, it's direct, frank talk.
There is no initiative on record. Sorry.
We are free from internal political matters. This enables us to have an open discussion, not to be populistic, and to share our experience and the need to solve problems.
You're not going to get sustainable development without peace, and you're not going to get peace without sustainable development. And if we look at the nexus of issues which affect the countries in crisis, we see a lot of the underlying factors are developmental factors.
When geopolitics is discussed, mainly the discussion is about power. Who's up, who's down, who's got influence, unipolar, multipolar world. Sustainable development is a different perspective, actually. It is what should we be doing to make a better world. We're in the last moments of having a chance to keep the climate even relatively safe. We're wrecking the planet. We could elaborate on that, but we're absolutely wrecking the physical earth and endangering hundreds of millions of people. The question for us, because this is a policy discussion, this is a discussion of diplomats and foreign ministers and leaders. Does anyone care? Is anyone doing anything? Does any of this make a difference?
Present and future of Balkans. A great pleasure for me to be the moderator of panel 6.
Discussion on alliances.
The theme of sustainable development.
The topic of this session is a bit different from what you've been hearing all day. We're going to talk about the role of science and various cultural elements in decision-making, both for foreign policy and domestic policy.
The themes discussed at the panels have been eye-openers, inasmuch as it gives you a global perspective on world affairs. And it's a fantastic forum to network as well.
We've gotten so much done here in such a short amount of time. We've had discussions with, I think, 7 of the Balkan countries. That's an area of the world that Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights is hoping to work on in the next couple of years.
Speak truth to power.
A forum like this, which does afford the space for everybody to get together and to have the discussion, is extremely constructive. Because when you do sit together and you forge those personal relationships, you can shift people's opinions.
It's my second time that I am participating to this amazing forum, which last year sent me home with amazing lessons and recommendations that I'm trying to put in place during my daily job.
My dear Madam President, Co-Chair Vika Freiberger.
The interchange between you has been lively, sparkling, sometimes quite emotional, but that is as it should be. We are creating a space of conviction. We talk about values, and that is precisely the reason why such fora as the Baku Forum are necessary.
Baku Global Forum today is one of the most important international platforms to address important issues on global agenda.